The room goes quiet when he speaks, not because he is wise, not because he is right, but because he is loud, certain, and utterly convinced of his own greatness. You have seen this man in the office, in politics, on a screen pretending to save the world while quietly burning it down. He lies with a straight face. He boasts without shame. He makes reckless decisions and calls it vision. And somehow, against all logic, he keeps rising. This is not an accident. This is not bad luck. This is how power works. Leadership does not reward the best. It rewards the bold performer, the confident actor, the man willing to bend reality until others start calling it truth. And 500 years ago, long before TED Talks and corporate buzzwords, Niccolò Machiavelli wrote down the rules of this brutal game, not as a moral guide, as a warning. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Leadership systems are not designed to select the most competent, the most ethical, or the most intelligent. They are designed to select those who look like leaders. And the traits that signal leadership to the human brain are often the same traits that make someone dangerous once they get power. Narcissism, deception, simplistic certainty. Let me tell you a short story. Years ago, I worked under two managers. One was quiet, precise, deeply competent. When problems came up, he explained the risks, the trade-offs, the unknowns. The other walked into every meeting like a conqueror, chest out, voice loud. Every sentence ended with absolute certainty. No doubt, no nuance. Guess who got promoted? The quiet one stayed invisible. The loud one became the boss. 6 months later, half the team quit. Projects collapsed. Blame was shifted. Excuses were polished. And somehow, the leader survived. This is not rare. This is the pattern. Machiavelli wrote that men judge more with their eyes than with their hands. What they see matters more than what is real. Everyone sees the performance. Few experience the consequences until it is too late. Narcissists thrive in this environment because narcissism looks like confidence. The narcissistic leader speaks in bold visions. He never hesitates. He never admits uncertainty. In a world terrified of chaos, that certainty feels like safety. Psychology confirms it. Overconfident individuals are consistently rated as more competent than humble ones, even when their results are worse. The brain prefers certainty over accuracy. This is why, when a group is lost, they follow the man who shouts directions, not the one who carefully checks the map. Think of movies: The Wolf of Wall Street, Succession, Game of Thrones. The characters who seize power are rarely the most virtuous. They are the most convincing, the ones who believe in themselves so aggressively that others surrender their judgment. Machiavelli observed that a ruler must avoid appearing weak, indecisive, or uncertain, not because certainty is truth, but because uncertainty repels followers. People do not want reality, they want reassurance. This is where liars enter the game. Leadership rewards those who can control perception, not blatant liars screaming nonsense. Strategic liars, storytellers, men who know what to show and what to hide, like a magician waving one hand while the trick happens in the other. Corporate leaders do this constantly. Losses become investments, failures become pivots, chaos becomes transformation, and the crowd applauds because the story feels good. I once sat in a company meeting where revenue was collapsing. The leader smiled and said, "This quarter proves our strategy is working long-term." People nodded, some even clapped. Nothing changed except the language. Machiavelli wrote that outcomes justify actions in the eyes of the public. If the leader survives, the method is praised. If he falls, it is condemned. Morality bends around success. This works because humans want to believe. We suffer from optimism bias. We interpret information in ways that protect hope. A leader who feeds that hope gains loyalty even while steering toward disaster. But the most dangerous deception is not what leaders tell others. It is what they tell themselves. Power warps perception. The more authority someone gains, the more they believe their own mythology. Their instincts feel infallible. Their vision feels sacred. Critics become enemies. Dissent becomes betrayal. This is how fools rise, not idiots. Fools in the Machiavellian sense. Leaders who oversimplify complex realities into clean slogans, who mistake clarity for wisdom, who reduce hard problems into easy answers. Humans love simple stories, heroes and villains, us versus them. This is why simplistic leaders gain traction faster than nuanced thinkers. Nuance sounds like weakness. Complexity feels like confusion. Look at politics. Look at social media. The man with the sharpest soundbite beats the one with the deepest understanding. A Stanford study once showed that leaders who use simpler language were more likely to be hired and paid more, yet they performed worse in complex environments. Simplicity gets you in the door. Reality eventually kicks it down. Machiavelli warned that a ruler must appear practical, decisive, grounded. Abstract thinkers scare people. Philosophers make poor candidates. Warriors with simple narratives win crowds. This also explains why empathy often loses. Here is the brutal part most people avoid. High empathy can be a liability in leadership selection. Leaders must make decisions that hurt people. Layoffs, cuts, sacrifices. Those who feel pain too deeply hesitate. Those with reduced empathy move faster. Studies show that power dampens emotional resonance. This makes decisions easier. It also makes manipulation easier. This is why narcissistic traits often correlate with leadership emergence, not because they are good leaders, but because they are less emotionally restrained. Machiavelli advised that when you can't be both loved and feared, being feared is more reliable. Fear creates compliance, love creates expectations, and expectations eventually turn into disappointment. Yet he also warned against hatred. The skilled leader walks a narrow line, hard enough to command, controlled enough to avoid rebellion. Now here is where most people misunderstand Machiavelli. He was not cheering for monsters. He was exposing the machinery. He was saying, this is how power actually functions, not how philosophers wish it did. And here is the paradox that ruins societies. The traits that help someone win power are often the traits that make them unfit to wield it. The confident performer beats the cautious realist. The charming liar beats the honest analyst. The simple thinker beats the complex strategist. Leadership selection is a casting call, not a competency test. It is like hiring an actor who looks like a surgeon to perform real surgery. He wears the coat well, he speaks with authority, and then the patient dies. History gives us exceptions, and they matter. Abraham Lincoln was awkward, melancholic, slow to speak. He did not dominate rooms. He studied deeply. He listened. When the moment came, his restraint became strength. Nelson Mandela did not chase power. He endured suffering. His authority came from moral gravity, not performance. These men were not chosen because they dazzled. They were chosen because circumstances forced depth to matter, but do not rely on miracles. The smarter solution is structural. Do not trust charisma. Measure outcomes. Do not reward certainty. Reward accuracy. Do not elevate confidence alone. Demand evidence. Organizations that survive learn this the hard way. They implement feedback loops. They limit power. They rotate leadership. They force accountability. The Venetian Republic once used random selection mixed with voting to prevent domination by one faction. Modern firms experiment with anonymous reviews and radical transparency. James Madison designed a system assuming leaders would be flawed. Checks and balances were not built for angels. They were built for ambitious men. This is the real Machiavellian wisdom. Do not hope for perfect leaders. Build systems that restrain imperfect ones. For you personally, this knowledge is armor. When you see someone rising fast, ask why. Is it results or performance? Is it substance or certainty? Learn to spot narcissistic confidence masquerading as competence. And when you lead, remember this. True strength does not need constant display. Real power does not shout. Wisdom often speaks last. Leadership rewards narcissists, liars, and fools not because society is evil, but because human psychology is predictable. Once you see the pattern, you will always remember it. And once you understand it, you stop being impressed by noise. That is how you survive in a world run by performers. And that is how you build power without becoming one of them. Thank you for watching. If you want more raw, uncut wisdom, join my free newsletter. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you soon.